Well, Billy, you mentioned the Fastnet race with Grant Warrington. What was that race like?
That was a pretty standard Fastnet. I think we didn't do very well. Unfortunately, we got beaten pretty soundly by Maximus. So it was kind of like upwind all the way to the rock, light at the rock, and but pretty. Not really. It's not really. It doesn't seem like as hard a race as our race, the Sydney to Hobart race. An iconic race, and that's the only one I've done. So,
And Grant Warrington, I mean, he's we say colourful, but he'd be pretty good to sail with, I think, wouldn't he?
He's a very good sailor. There's no question. He's a very talented sailor. He did the Southern Ocean League with us on Deduce as well. He's won a lot of Etchells championships, and he's won a lot of ocean races. So while he's definitely a colourful character and great personality, he's also should be recognised for being a really talented sailor. He is.
And then I think after that, you got involved with the Wild Oats program for a while.
Yeah, that's right. So pretty much, once I got sailed with Nicorette and Warrow, I kind of had the Maxi boat bug for quite a long time after that. And I think the Maxi boats are a different type of sailing, and once you kind of get to understand how that works, you kind of end up doing a lot of it. So I was really honoured to get asked to sail on Wild Oats XI, the year it was first launched. And so I did the 2005 race on Wild Oats. That was pretty fun, or really, really fun to be involved in such an awesome project as Wild Oats with the Oatley family. So we won that race.
And did a few more on that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I ended up, I was invited, I did 2 races in the end on Wild Oats. I missed the 2006 race because of the Valencia America's Cup. So I did 2005 and 2007. So, but I'd also sailed on the 66 and also did the European tour, 2 European tours on Wild Oats 11 as well, Maxi Worlds. So very honoured.
Great programs, weren't
they? It was a great program and a real honour to sail with the Oatley family.
Yeah.
So we had some great experiences and some not so great experiences. We ended up breaking the mast. I was there when we broke the mast in the Maxi Cup in Sardinia. That was pretty unfortunate, but surprising experience. Yeah.
You don't want to go through that every day.
No, you don't. No, breaking a mast on a Maxi yacht.
No, it's not recommended.
Not recommended, no. But So a couple of years there, and then
Rico, another good skipper, outstanding skipper. Always colourful moments with him too, especially at the starts.
I've never been in the firing line of Rico's colourfulness, his intensity. He's an intense sailor. He's very good. I enjoy sailing with Rico. Yeah. He's got his own ideas about how to win yacht races, and
But he's been obviously great for that Wild Oats program, and it still is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So after that, where did we go? You got back into the smaller boats for Hobarts?
I stayed with the Maxi yachts. So I did a year on the Blackjack 66, and then I got invited to join Neville Crichton's program. So I did. I sailed for 3 years with Neville Crichton. Primarily up in Europe, do it with the 100-footer and the 72-footer. Did some pretty fun races there as well. Did the 2009 Transpac Race on the 100-footer on Alfa Romeo.
And you won line honours.
We won line honours in the Transpac Race and broke the record at that time. I had an amazing crew on that boat for that Transpac Race, and it's one of the things when I look back and I say some of the sailors that I've sailed with have been unbelievable. That crew, we did that Transpac Race. We had Ben Ainsley was on that boat for that race. Tony Mutter, Craig Satterthwaite. I think we had Stan Honey navigating, Michael Coxon.
Was Gary Wiseman with you?
He didn't do that race, no. But I mean that just those names I've mentioned there. Yeah. I've been privileged to sail with some really, really high quality sailors. But
and Neville, he gets the best out of you, doesn't he?
Well, he does, and Neville is the type of guy who basically is a real privilege to sail with because he's the ultimate competitor, and he wants to leave no stone unturned in terms of what needs to be done to win a yacht race. If there's an edge to be found, he'll go searching for it.
Want it.
Yeah. So, and he's always been that way. And in that way, he's actually led the charge in some of the kind of developments and performance enhancements. You know, he's one of the first guys to kind of go, okay, I'm going to go all composite rigging on my ocean racing boat. He didn't really care. He knew that, you know, the weight aloft being reduced was going to improve his performance. So he was always trying to lead the charge and get to that technological advance first. So that was really a privilege to do that. So
with all this sailing, do you have a day job?
I do. Well, interestingly, so I finished sailing in the America's Cup, and in about 2013, I basically decided I was probably getting a bit too old and a bit, you know, too much of a family requirement to kind of be travelling and professional sailing all the time. So, you know, and I kind of took the opportunity to get my commercial tickets, you know, so get my master's ticket and my engineering tickets and so forth, so I could kind of have a long-term plan. So now I'm actually working full-time for the Port Authority, you know, so that's a really good job. I work for the Port Authority of Sydney, Port Authority of New South Wales, in emergency response, pilot boats, ship auditing, and basically managing the harbour. So.
And you're based on Sydney Harbour?
So I'm based on Sydney Harbour and Botany Bay.
Okay.
So we split our time evenly between those two ports, and we're basically the Port Authority. A lot of people don't really know what we do, but we look after the harbour in all aspects. All the waterside harbour. We do firefighting. We've got the fire tug, which you've seen out there. We run the pilot boats, and we basically are on standby 24/7. So. It's a really good job, and it works really nicely with my sailing because it's shift work, and you can swap your shifts around with your mates. Juggle it around a bit, So
we'll keep going with the Hobart because that's been an important part of your life. So after those bigger programs, you got involved with I think the TP52s.
Well, I had another really exciting program there in the middle before I kind of changed the TP52s. A pretty famous program. The Anthony Bell Loyal program.
Oh, right, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I was in that program for a couple of years as well. So we did the Michael Coxon, North Sales. He invited me to come and sail on the Loyal, Investec Loyal, when Sean Langman and Anthony Bell owned it together, and they asked me to come along and be crew boss. And initially I was a little bit hesitant, but it turned out to be a really fun program. We did the first race in 2010. And we kind of had it was kind of a bit last minute. The boat only got put back in the water in mid-December, new keel, and, you know, after a major refit, and Wild Oats beat us soundly in that race in 2010. And so we had some meetings in early 2011. Michael Coxon was determined that we were going to put a really good crew together, and Anthony Bell was up for it. So we really worked hard that year putting a crew together, and Coco and I put a really good crew together, and did a whole campaign for the whole year of sailing. We did Hamilton Island Race Week, and all the blue water races, and with the goal of trying to beat Wild Oats in that 2011 Sydney Hobart race. And, you know, when I look back at that race, the 2011 race, it's probably one of the highlights of my Sydney Hobart career. And I think about the way we ran the year, the guys we had on board. I mean, I'll list some of the names, and there's some of the guys, some of the most famous sailors, which will go down in history. We had Michael Coxon, we had Mark Bradford on board, Anthony Nossiter, Will McCarthy, Bruce Clark, John Flannery, Tom Braidwood, a bunch of guys that are quite all iconic in the kind of Australian yachting and Sydney Hobart game. It was pretty much, it was a bit of a dream crew really. And the cream on top of the crew was, we couldn't find a navigator towards the end of the year, and Michael Coxon said, why don't we just get this guy that we had with Neville in the Transpac Race, Stan Honey. And I said, do you think we can get him? And ultimately, I mean, he was the game breaker.
Yeah,
I mean, he pretty much
won the race. Yeah.
He pretty much won the race for us. I mean, we kind of jumped to the end there, but we were underdogs and no one really thought we could beat Wild Oats in that race. And it was probably, in terms of the race, I think when I look back, I can remember at least 3, maybe more lead changes. It was a battle. You know, Wild Oats had the wood on us in the first day. They got ahead in Bass Strait. But Stan Honey, to his credit, he came up to us and we were on starboard tack, pretty much laying towards Tasman Island in the middle of the strait, and kind of Wild Oats was up to windward of us, and Stan Honey came up on deck and he goes, I was steering at the time, he says, and comes up with Coco and Coco. They said, Stan Honey wants us to bear away and steer 60 true wind angle for the next 4 hours. And we're going, well, hang on, that's like 30 degrees off course. And Stan said, well, no, this is what's going to happen. You know, there's a transition zone. We've got to go through the gap between the 2 transition zones and spear through into the sou'easter, which is going to quickly turn to the east. And if we're going to tack over, then we're going to be reaching on port. And I go, well, that sounds like a pipe dream, but whatever. Sure enough, exactly when Stan Honey said it was going to happen, there was 2 clouds. We went straight through the middle of them, headed 60 degrees, tacked onto port, and we could see Wild Oats about 2 miles to the west of us, parked up in the transition zone, and we sailed straight past him. Yeah. And I was, mate, this guy is amazing. Sure enough, over the next 24 hours, while the wind went around to the north, Wild Oats caught us and passed us again, and they were about a mile in front of us, and we got near Tasman Island, and Stan Honey, those guys tacked on the lay for Tasman. Stan Honey goes, no, this is what we're doing. We're not going to do that. We've got to go past the lay into the south a bit further. So Coco goes, we're overlaying Tasman by 2 miles. This is what we're doing. Sure enough, Stan right again and got us to the front again. So,
no, he's a master. But was that the year that you took down those personalities on board, like rugby players and cricketers and that?
Oh, we had an amazing crew of
boxers and things.
Oh, apart from those luminary yachtsmen I mentioned to you there, we had
luminary sportsmen.
We had luminary sportsmen as well. You know, we had. I'm just trying to remember because we kind of rolled through a different bunch of celebrities from time to time. We definitely had Phil Waugh on board. I'm pretty sure.
Was Lane Beachley the surfer? Was she on board?
Well, she was on for the one before. I'm going to say that we had Jessica Watson on that race.
What about the wheelchair athlete?
We had Kurt Fernley.
Kurt Fernley,
yeah. Kurt Fernley, and he's impressive. Yeah. We had to build some railings to go down the stairs so he could basically chin up himself up the stairs. We had to get some musto wet weather gear. They cut the legs off and sewed them around, and he basically, his job on the boat was to press the winch buttons and help us out that way. That guy sat to leeward for pretty much 24 hours, going upwind, getting just worked over, but he never stopped. He was impressive. Just trying to think. We also had Karl Stefanovic.
Right.
He wasn't that handy.
Another bloke with burnt.
He spent a bit of time in the bilge. I think he was trying to get us to get the Channel 9 chopper out there at one stage. But so
another experience.
So that was also the same year where we got in, and we actually got protested by the race committee for asking a question of the chopper.
Wild Oats sales.
That's right. We asked. There'd been a question asked of the Channel 7 or the Channel ABC chopper, I think it was, as to what sales Wild Oats was using, and we had to go through the protest as well.
Survive that.
But that was a highlight, that race, because that was winning a race when you're not supposed to win. As an underdog is a real highlight.
Yeah, that is special. So from there, where do we go from there?
I think
you did a race with your brother on Ichiban, which was a
we did. I did a race with my brother on Ichiban in 2017, 16 maybe 17. Right. I can't remember that. I lose track.
Yeah.
But that was a downwind race. Again, we should have won. we was a downwind race. We got to Tasman in pretty good order. I think we got to Tasman by 6 a.m. on the 28th. So in front of the 60-footers, we were in front of Alive and in front of quite a few other bigger boats, Alive and Chinese Whisper were behind us. But that was the one where we parked at Tasman for the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
So I'll bring you a little bit more up to date, and you probably don't want to be reminded too much of it, but Gweilo, you've been involved with that program over the last few years, and I think you've ended up second twice with Gweilo.
Yep.
Corrected time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's been
a bit tough to take, but still a good effort. But
it is. I think it's tough because I think in both races that we've come second in, I believe we've sailed well enough to win, but the forces that they are haven't allowed us to win the Tattersalls with that boat. The guy Matt and Chris, the owners, have put a lot into it, and we've had a really good squad with that boat. We've worked really hard on it. So I'm the tactician and sailing master on that boat. I think that crew is a really good one. In the last couple of years, we've worked hard to try and get youth sailing academy sailors through that program. We took a couple of them in Hobart this year. That's a really good program, and I've really enjoyed sailing with Matt and Chris. And again, it's unfortunate we're now moving on from that boat.
So what's coming up for you?
Well, now this year I've committed to sailing with committee member here, David Griffith, on his.
So Gweilo's having a year off.
Gweilo's having a year off. Yep. That boat's on the market. Matt and Chris will probably come back with renewed enthusiasm in a year or so. We're still trying to plan on how that's going to look, whether it be building a new boat or procuring another 52-footer. But yeah, 52s is where they're in love with the class of 52s.
So you've jumped into the Whisper program?
Yeah,
good.
Whisper program that's looking pretty fun too. David Griffith, he's a real enthusiast and he puts a lot into it as well. So pretty excited about kind of giving that a bit of a
tickle up?
Just trying to work with those guys and trying to get David a few trophies as well.
Well, let's hope you can finally win the big one, the Tattersall Cup. But I know it's eluded you many times and you've been close, but maybe this year, who knows?
Exactly. I had a look last night. I think I've had at least 5 seconds in the Tattersall's Cup over my program.
It's time, Billy. It's time.
I have actually won one Tattersall's, but in my mind, it's not a real Tattersall's. We won the Tattersall's in 2005, I think it was, on Wild Oats 11. I think it was one of the races where we won the triple.
Yes.
So in 2005, the first year of Wild Oats 11.
Yeah, that's right.
We broke the record one line on us and won the Tattersall's.
Right.
So that's my only Tattersall's trophy.
I didn't think you'd won one. You have won one.
I've won one.
Were you on board that year?
Yeah,
too?
2005.
Okay, right.
The first year we had the boat.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So one Tattersall's.
Oh, okay.
And a bunch of seconds.
Well, I'll go easy on you.
My very good friend Mark Bradford, he actually says to me many times, "You've made a career out of coming second." His nickname for me is actually second best, which stings a little bit.
We'll just jump quickly. America's Cup foiling, Amoka's foiling. What are your thoughts on the future there?
I think I really love to watch the foiling boats. I think it's the next step in the sport of sailing, and I think they're amazing boats. But I do actually think that the cut and thrust of boat-on-boat racing is not as good as it used to be. I'd love to see some type of boats that are actually a lot closer to race. So, and I think going back to the old days of having, when we had the America's Cup in 2007, 12 teams. We had a series that went with fleet racing over a bunch of years, and I think it was kind of, I don't know if it's better. I don't really know, but the foiling stuff, it's good, but I think I love the old stuff.
And what about short-handed sailing? Interested in that at all? To do it?
For me, no. I think I'm too old. But I think, I I like the short-handed sailing. I think it's the next step, and I'm really excited about those guys. Rupert Henry in this country is really pushing forward with the short-handed stuff, and I think that it is the future, and I'm really excited now.
Well, we've seen the growth overseas. It's been immense, hasn't it?
It's been amazing, and I think it's the right way to go, to have those guys being eligible to win the main trophies. So if they can sail a boat with 2 people and beat us guys that have got 14, 15 and beyond.
Good luck to them.
Good luck to them, and they deserve all the accolades for doing that if that happens.
All right, Billy, well, look, thank you very much. Good luck in the future. And, sorry, I should mention your Etchells campaign, 2nd in the Nationals, just won the States. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. It's been one of the loves of my life, Etchells sailing, as we mentioned at the beginning. So it's going to be ongoing. We've got 2 World Championships coming up in Australia in the next year or 2. So the goal is to try and grab one of them.
So where are they being held?
So there's a World Championships in Perth in March in 2024.
Right.
And then we've got one in Melbourne. The following one's in Melbourne. I believe it's in the start of 25. So my goal to try and get my team to the top of the podium there, but we'll see how we go. It's a very, very tough class.
Yeah. Well, you've done well, both in Etchells and in ocean racing, a great career. So continue to do well. Good luck with the Whisper campaign. Good luck with your Etchells, and good luck with your day job.
Cheers, shippers. Thank you.